Welcome to CSL TV. And I just hope you guys are having a beautiful, blessed day. Now, if you're new to the channel, this is just a review, a reaction, and an informational channel. So, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully the informational part help you or somebody. And we just gonna watch some videos and talk about them. Other than that, I just hope you're having a beautiful, blessed day. Man, the world is just going through so much. I just hope that wherever you are, that you and your loved ones is experiencing nothing but peaceful, positive vibes, because there's so much negativity going on. I mean, a lot of people ain't been loved, so I don't want to make this intro too long. Hey, hit the sub button, like, comment, and let's get it.
In 1974, 3 children of the Otero family arrived home from school to a blood-curdling scene that would scar them for life. Their 9-year-old brother Joseph was tied up and strangled. Their mother had wires wrapped around her throat, and their father had his tongue bitten off. Each of the 4 victims were found in their own horrific situation, each wrapped in bondage. But it was their sister that had endured the most sickening fate. She was found hung by her neck, almost naked, and a large amount of semen was found near her body. But the question remained.
I know this happened in 1974, but I just hope that those kids at the time, minds, you know what I'm saying, was able to get back into somewhat of the reality of the world so they can be with society, because after seeing something like that definitely happening to your loved ones, the mind can go, as my auntie called it, can go on vacation and can never come back. So I don't want to stop too much, but we got to talk about, you know what I'm saying, up into like, man, I don't know what to say.
Could commit such a horrifying crime. Soon after the murders, the local police got a call from the killer telling them about a hidden note that he'd left. The contents of the letter were so harrowing, it was heard all over the world. The letter went into chilling detail about each of the murders and said that a monster made him do it. A monster that hurts him as well as society. The letter ended saying, "My code words will be bind, torture, kill. You will see them on your next victim. Yours truly, BTK. Good luck hunting." Over the next 30 years, 10 more murders were connected to the killer, each of them women that he'd stalked and planned for months at a time to ensure the most gruesome fate possible. Catherine Bright was one of these women. When she returned home from work, the killer was inside waiting for her. But this time, things almost went horribly wrong for BTK. Catherine had come home with her brother Kevin. After pulling a gun on them, the killer tied up Catherine, but ended up getting into a fight with Kevin, which resulted in him shooting him in the head. In some sort of miracle, Kevin survives the gunshot and managed to escape, leaving his sister to be tortured, raped, and brutally murdered. He was the only person ever to survive the killer.
It was brought out that she fought, quoted as a Hellcat, and I'm so proud of her for that, because I knew, she had that in her. The only thing I wish is that when I wrestled the gun from him, that it would have gone off, and that would have been the end there.
After
He got shot in the head, and fucking, you know what I'm saying, he had to go to get help, but his sister, who was left there, man, had to deal with what she had to deal with. You know what I'm saying? So I know this really messed his mental up for a very long time. And when I say a long time, like a very long time.
After 9 more unsolved and equally brutal murders, the killer went quiet. But in 2004, after a news article about him aired, he broke his silence and made his first mistake. The news company received an envelope from the killer containing a driver's license, more information on the murders, and pictures of one of his victims tied up in different positions and crying. Over the next 9 months, he would leave a dozen more packages and clues hinting at his identity and taunting the police. But in one of these packages, he would make a fatal error. He had sent a floppy disk directly to the police containing more pictures and information, but what he didn't know was that the police could trace it straight back to his location. The floppy disk led to a computer in a local church belonging to a man called Dennis Rader, a father and priest that many people knew as a polite, well-mannered, normal man. After watching him, conducting DNA tests on his daughter, and confirming it was him, police stormed his home and arrested him, bringing an end to his 3-decade-long murderous rampage. At his
You
house,
mean to tell me a priest was going around doing this shit? A man of God who's supposed to be helping us people when we don't believe in this and that, and our faith is tested and we feel like it's not working and life is getting this. The one who's supposed to spread the word, the message of positivity and all the things that God has and you know what I'm saying, the Lord Jesus, everybody have laid out for us. You was the one out here doing all this sick, gross and demonic stuff. You know what I'm saying? And think about it, 1974, 2004. You a pastor, bruh. Like how? I mean, a pastor didn't hear the people of the community talk nothing but good about you because you were a pastor in the church. Now, thank God for technology, because yo old dementia ass, whatever the fuck, didn't understand that the world was changing, evolving, and growing. And in 2004, they had better technology than 1974. You feel me? So, thank God for technology. Thank God this sick, demonic, twisted, fake ass preacher got caught.
At his house, a huge stash was found containing items that the victims owned, pictures of the murder scenes, and even pictures of himself wearing their clothes, tied up and hanging. In his trial, Dennis admitted to every one of the murders and recounted each one in chilling detail, and admitted to doing it all for sexual pleasure. He loved to watch helpless women suffer.
Went back, Josephine had woke back up.
What did you do then?
And I took her to the basement and eventually hung her.
You hung her in the basement?
Yes, sir.
Did you do anything else at that time?
Yes, I had some sexual fantasies, but that was after she was hung.
Dennis Rader was sentenced to 175 years in prison, the majority of which was about to be served in solitary confinement, and without anything he could use to satisfy his demonic urges.
He's backing into the freeway?
This video out of California is upsetting, and we have to warn you, it might be hard to watch. It all went down in Fresno when cops went to pull over a car. They recognized the driver as someone wanted for multiple crimes, including felony evading. The cops throw on their lights, but instead of pulling over, the man drives onto a highway off-ramp in the wrong direction, going backwards.
Oh, gosh, where is he gonna go? He's backing into the freeway?
Yeah.
A bystander captured it on cell phone video.
Oh, he's gonna get.
Oh. Oh, dear God.
All right, well, we're just gonna have to sit
kind of
here.
stuck.
They decide to drive away before things escalate.
Well, I'm just gonna park because this is not.
Oh, I don't think we could go.
I don't think we could.
Go.
I don't.
Go.
Are we
Get out of
supposed
here.
to go?
Get out of here before we get caught in gunfire. Because you know that's where this is gonna end up.
She's right. The driver strikes multiple cars as he makes his way onto the highway, and an officer eventually spots his vehicle. The cop tails him without throwing on his lights.
One on behind him. He's in the number 2 lane going northbound 41. We're south of Bullard. He's going 45 miles an hour in the number 2 lane. He's not lit up.
The officer eventually throws on his siren and catches up with the driver, and when he gets close enough, the officer executes a pit maneuver to try to bring the guy to a stop.
It has been authorized. Administered vehicle is now stopped.
The pit maneuver works and the officer continues driving forward as 2 more cops in a car trailing behind catch up to the disabled vehicle. Once the cops get out of their car, the suspect starts shooting. The police car's window shatters as cops return fire. The police car's window shatters as cops return fire. As officers continue to engage, one of the cops remarks that he's been shot.
I got hit.
This is where things ramp up even more.
Show me your fucking hands!
The driver is now out of the car and running away from the police, who continue to try to take him down. They give chase on foot.
Get on the fucking ground!
As the guy starts running towards another car that's pulled over.
You're getting fucking shot!
Police open fire, and the guy falls to the ground.
Show me your fucking hands!
Cops tell the parked car to take off.
Go, go!
As they continue to take control of the situation.
You reach for anything, I'm gonna shoot you again! He hit me. I think I hit you. Something hit me.
It turns out that officer was struck in the chest, but his bulletproof vest stopped the bullet. The 29-year-old suspect ended up dying from his injuries. This all went down back in March, but the footage was just released, and it's quite controversial. That's because cell phone footage taken from this angle captured the suspect getting out of the car with his hands up and walking away from police before he was shot. His family, like his sister here, wants justice.
To me, he was my brother. That's my brother. And the police overkilled him. There's videos. He was down and he was still getting shot at. Why? Why did that have to happen?
While police released all of the footage you've seen, the attorney for the man who was shot and killed says the cops haven't released body camera video from at least one other police officer and a police helicopter. At the man's car, police later found the man's handgun, which was discarded after the exchange with the cops, as well as a .22 caliber rifle. Police say they only learned afterwards that the man discarded his handgun. The man's family attorney still says if the man's hands were up as he moved away from police, there was no basis to use deadly force.
Officers have to be held accountable the same way citizens are held accountable. This was clearly an unlawful shooting. This was a homicide.
The rally was held in Fresno to protest police violence, and the family hopes to obtain more police footage as well as file a civil rights lawsuit. The Department of Justice is investigating everything that went down.
Man, that was a crazy situation. A lot of people could have got hurt. Bullets flying everywhere. All this type of stuff going on. And he had some serious artillery that could have hurt some folks. But in the defense of the family, and I'm not an attorney, they actually got something. And the police also admitted that they didn't know he got rid of the gun and set it down. Now, we saw him with his hands up, trying to, you know what I'm saying, show them like, hey, I ain't got shit, man. But they is so, you know what I'm saying, all that adrenaline rushing, they didn't use proper judgment. And then, how they said, assess the scenery of the vehicle. You know what I'm saying? Because it was only one guy, I'm assuming. So he didn't necessitate the vehicle to see that, oh, damn, he left the gun right there on the floor. Literally right there on the floor. He could have seen that and could have just watched the guy, see how he moved. Hell, it was pedestrians right there.